Kugelmass, a professor of humanities at City College, was unhappily married for the second time. Daphne Kugelmass was an oaf. She also had two dull sons. Take two. Kugelmass, a professor of humanities at City College, was unhappily married for the second time. Daphne Kugelmass was an oaf. He also had two dull sons by his first wife, Flo, and was up to his neck in alimony and child support. Did I know it would turn out so badly? Kugelmass whined to his analyst one day. Daphne had promise. Who suspected she'd let herself go and swell up like a beach ball? Plus, she had a few bucks, which is not in itself a healthy reason to marry a person, but it doesn't hurt, for the kind of operating nut I have. You see my point? Kugelmass was bald and as hairy as a bear, but he had soul. I need to meet a new woman, he went on. I need to have an affair. I may not look the part, but I'm a man who needs romance. I need softness. I need flirtation. I'm not getting younger, so before it's too late, I want to make love in Venice. Trade quips at 21 and exchange coy glances over red wine and candlelight. You see what I'm saying? Dr. Mandel shifted in his chair and said, an affair will solve nothing. You're so unrealistic. Your problems run much deeper. And also, this affair must be discreet, Kugelmass continued. I can't afford a second divorce. Daphne would really sock it to me. Mr. Kugelmass. But it can't be anyone at City College because Daphne also works there. Not that anyone on the faculty at CCNY is any great shakes, but some of those co-eds, Mr. Kugelmass, help me. I had a dream last night. I was skipping through a meadow holding a picnic basket, and the basket was marked options. And then I saw there was a hole in the basket. Mr. Kugelmass, the worst thing you could do is act out. You must simply express your feelings here, and together we'll analyze them. You have been in treatment long enough to know there is no overnight cure. After all, I'm an analyst, not a magician. Then perhaps what I need is a magician, Kugelmass said, rising from his chair. And with that, he terminated his therapy. A couple of weeks later, while Kugelmass and Daphne were moping around in their apartment one night like two pieces of old furniture, the phone rang. I'll get it, Kugelmass said. Hello. Kugelmass, a voice said. Kugelmass, this is Persky. Who? Persky, or should I say the great Persky. Pardon me? I hear you're looking all over town for a magician to bring a little exotica into your life. Yes or no? Shh, Kugelmass whispered. Don't hang up. Where are you calling from, Persky? Early the following afternoon, Kugelmass climbed 3 flights of stairs in a broken-down apartment house in the Bushwick section of Brooklyn. Peering through the darkness of the hall, he found the door he was looking for and pressed the bell. I'm going to regret this, he thought to himself. Seconds later, he was greeted by a short, thin, waxy-looking man. You're Persky the Great, Kugelmass said. The Great Persky. You want a tea? No, I want romance. I want music. I want love and beauty. But no tea, eh? Amazing. Okay, sit down. Persky went to the back room, and Kugelmass heard the sounds of boxes and furniture being moved around. Persky appeared, pushing before him a large object on squeaky roller skate wheels. He removed some old silk handkerchiefs that were lying on its top and blew away a bit of dust. It was a cheap-looking Chinese cabinet, badly lacquered. Persky, Kugelmass said, what's your scam? Pay attention, Persky said. This is some beautiful effect. I developed it for a Knights of Pythias date last year, but the booking fell through. Get into the cabinet. Why, so you can stick it full of swords or something? You see any swords? Kugelmass made a face and grunting climbed into the cabinet. He couldn't help noticing a couple of ugly rhinestones glued onto the raw plywood just in front of his face. Is this a joke? He said. Some joke. Now here's the point. If I throw any novel into this cabinet with you, shut the doors and tap it 3 times, you will find yourself projected into that book. Kugelmass made a grimace of disbelief. It's the emis, Persky said. My hand to God, not just a novel either. A short story, a play, a poem. You can meet any of the women created by the world's best writers. Whoever you dreamed of, you could carry on all you like with a real winner. Then when you've had enough, you give a yell, I'll see you're back here in a split second. Persky, are you some kind of outpatient? I'm telling you, it's on the level, Persky said. Kugelmass remained skeptical. What are you telling me, that this cheesy homemade box can take me on a ride like you're describing? For a double sawbuck. Kugelmass reached for his wallet. I'll believe this when I see it, he said. Persky tucked the bills in his pants pocket and turned towards his bookcase. So who do you want to meet? Sister Carrie? Hester Prynne? Ophelia? Maybe someone by Saul Bellow? Hey, what about Temple Drake? Although for a man your age, she'd be a workout. French. I want to have an affair with a French lover. Nana? I don't want to have to pay for it. What about Natasha and War and Peace? I said French. I know. What about Emma Bovary? That sounds to me perfect. You got it, Kugelmass. Give me a holler when you've had enough. Persky tossed in a paperback copy of Flaubert's novel. You sure this is safe? Kugelmass asked as Persky began shutting the cabinet doors. Safe? Is anything safe in this crazy world? Persky rapped 3 times on the cabinet and then flung open the doors. Kugelmass was gone. At the same moment, he appeared in the bedroom of Charles and Emma Bovary's house at Yonville. Before him was a beautiful woman, standing alone with her back turned to him as she folded some linen. I can't believe this, thought Kugelmass, staring at the doctor's ravishing wife. This is uncanny. I'm here. It's her. Emma turned in surprise. Goodness, you startled me, she said. Who are you? She spoke in the same fine English translation as the paperback. It's simply devastating, he thought. Then, realizing that it was he whom she had addressed, he said, Excuse me, I'm Sidney Kugelmass. I'm from City College, a professor of humanities. CCNY? Uptown. Oh boy. Emma Bovary smiled flirtatiously and said, Would you like a drink, a glass of wine, perhaps? She is beautiful, Kugelmass thought. What a contrast with the troglodyte who shared his bed. He felt a sudden impulse to take this vision into his arms and tell her she was the kind of woman he had dreamed of all his life. Yes, some wine, he said hoarsely. White. No, red. No, white. Make it white. Charles is out for the day, Emma said, her voice full of playful implication. After the wine, they went for a stroll in the lovely French countryside. I've always dreamed that some mysterious stranger would appear and rescue me from the monotony of this crass, rural existence, Emma said, clasping his hand. They passed a small church. I love what you have on, she murmured. I've never seen anything like it around here. It's so modern. It's called a leisure suit, he said romantically. It was marked down. Suddenly he kissed her. For the next hour they reclined under a tree and whispered together and told each other deeply meaningful things with their eyes. Then Kugelmass sat up. He had just remembered he had to meet Daphne at Bloomingdale's. I must go, he told her. But don't worry, I'll be back. I hope so, Emma said. He embraced her passionately, and the two walked back to the house. He held Emma's face cupped in his palms, kissed her again, and yelled, Okay, Persky, I gotta be at Bloomingdale's by 3:30. There was an audible pop, and Kugelmass was back in Brooklyn. So did I lie? Persky asked triumphantly. Look, Persky, I'm right now late to meet the ball and chain at Lexington Avenue. But when can I go again? Tomorrow? My pleasure. Just bring a 20. And don't mention this to anybody. Yeah, I'm going to call Rupert Murdoch. Kugelmass hailed a cab and sped off to the city. His heart danced on point. I am in love, he thought. I am the possessor of a wonderful secret. What he didn't realize was that at this very moment, students in various classrooms across the country were saying to their teachers, Who is this character on page 100? A bald Jew is kissing Madame Bovary? A teacher in Sioux Falls, South Dakota, sighed and thought, Jesus, these kids with their pot and acid, what goes through their minds? Daphne Kugelmass was in the bathroom accessories department at Bloomingdale's when Kugelmass arrived breathlessly. Where have you been? She snapped. It's 4:30. I get held up in traffic, Kugelmass said. Kugelmass visited Persky the next day and in a few minutes was again passed magically to Yonville. Emma couldn't hide her excitement at seeing him. The two spent hours together laughing and talking about their different backgrounds. Before Kugelmass left, they made love. My God, I'm doing it with Madame Bovary, Kugelmass whispered to himself. Me, who failed freshman English. As the months passed, Kugelmass saw Persky many times and developed a close and passionate relationship with Emma Bovary. "Make sure and always get me into the book before page 120, Kugelmass said to the magician one day. "I always have to meet her before she hooks up with this Rodolphe character." "Why?" Persky asked. "You can't beat his time?" "Beat his time? He's landed gentry. Those guys have nothing better to do than flirt and ride horses. To me, he's one of those faces you see in the pages of Women's Wear Daily, with the helmet burger hairdo. But to her, he's hot stuff. And her husband suspects nothing. He's out of his depth. He's a lackluster little paramedic who's thrown in his lot with a jitterbug. He's ready to go to sleep by 10, and she's putting on her dancing shoes. Oh well, see you later." And once again, Kugelmass entered the cabinet and passed instantly to the Bovary estate of Yonville. "How you doing, Cupcake?" he said to Emma. "Oh, Kugelmass," Emma sighed. "What I have to put up with. Last night at dinner, Mr. Personality dropped off to sleep in the middle of the dessert course. I'm pouring my heart out about Maxims and the ballet, and out of the blue I hear snoring." "It's okay, darling. I'm here now," Kugelmass said, embracing her. "I've earned this," he thought, smelling Emma's French perfume and burying his nose in her hair. "I've suffered enough. I've paid enough analysts. I've searched till I'm weary. She's young and nubile, and I'm here a few pages after Leon and just before Rodolphe. By showing up during the correct chapters, I've got the situation knocked." Emma, to be sure, was just as happy as Kugelmass. She had been starved for excitement, and his tales of Broadway nightlife, of fast cars and Hollywood and TV stars enthralled the young French beauty.